So first up, I would like to introduce Samantha Woods and Taruna Mistry from Transition Leicester. Sam has been an active member of the transition movement since 2008 and is a qualified permaculture teacher, as well as just an amazing organizer and empowerer of grassroots community enterprises. And Taruna Mistry runs a CIC called Leicester Community Links that works across the city on mental and physical health and well-being, focusing on empowering local people, and particularly those in underserved parts of the community to take action. The CIC and Transition Leicester have partnered on a really exciting new phase of their work. This is about scaling up, scaling out, and scaling deep, a real 3D project and approach, which we're very excited to hear about. So huge thanks to Samantha and Taruna for being here this evening to share their story with us. Over to you guys.
Thank you so much, Rob. Max, could we have the first slide, please? So Transition Leicester, I'll say a little bit about our history and how we came together with Leicester Community Links. But this project is really about scaling up by working together across the whole of the different communities of Leicester. So it brings together actually 3 organisations. So along with Leicester Community Links and Transition Leicester, we're also working with Hindu Climate Action, which is a national organisation. And I believe Avnish from Hindu Climate Action is in the room. So hi, Avnish. So yes, this is a 3-way partnership. We are the recipients of some seed funding from the Transition Network. So thank you very much for that, to get this project off the ground. So it's a new project for Leicester. Could I have the next slide, please, Max? So for those of you that are not familiar with Leicester, we are in the middle of England. We are a medium-sized city with a population of about 360,000 people. But we have no ethnic majority in Leicester. So we have a whole mixture of communities living here. We've had waves of different kind of immigration over hundreds of years. And many of our communities are very settled alongside the kind of white British people. For example, we've just celebrated 50 years of having our Ugandan and other African Asians arrive, fleeing from persecution 50 years ago. But 11% of Leicester's population across different communities speak Gujarati. So when we came together to look at the kind of climate awareness raising that we are going to be doing through this project, having that translated into Gujarati and working with Gujarati speakers gives us a really strong outreach across the city, across different ethnicities and different religious groups. So the reason that Transition Leicester's kind of teamed up with these different organisations. So as an organisation, we've been going since 2008, and we have gone through different periods of energy, I guess. So I like to kind of use this idea of a bulb and the flowering field. So when we first started back in 2008, we set up a lot of projects very quickly, a lot of which are still going and are kind of like our flowering field. But our steering group was made up of a small core of people. And gradually over time, those people have kind of gone off and either run these projects that are listed on the screen now. So if we got the next slide up, sorry. Sorry, I should have asked you to change the slide. Sorry. Yeah, so we've set up a whole range of different projects over the time that Transition Leicester has been in existence. But we've kind of gone through these different periods of flowering and then coming back into the kind of bulb state, more of a hiatus, as people have either suffered from burnout or gone off to do different things in their lives. And so this project that brings together these 3 organisations is, for me, a kind of like the first green shoots coming out of that bulb that we've nurtured and kept alive, even during a kind of quieter time that we've had since the COVID years, I guess. Sorry, could I have the next slide, please, Max? So the way that this project arose originally was through some work that I was doing through my day job, but I was doing some climate awareness workshops with different groups across Leicester City, but the workshop format was very much based on my experience as a transition facilitator and using kind of transition ways of talking to and listening to people, and particularly kind of listening to what communities need. And so it was through that I kind of came across Taruna, and Taruna's group was one of the most enthusiastic groups wanting to take things forward from this initial series of workshops. So I'm going to pass over to Taruna now, and she's going to talk a bit more about the whole scaling up of this through the project that we have planned.
Okay, thank you very much, Sam. Okay, yeah. So our social enterprise, Leicester Community Links, is fairly new. We're 3 years old. The social sort of cause for our enterprise is well-being, and we emphasize better physical health and support mental health as well. But through the activities we have been delivering for the last few years, it was clear that there needs to be more awareness on climate awareness and climate action. So through our activities, we identified that. I felt it was a great opportunity to link up with Sam to give a platform to a lot of the diverse communities in Leicester who don't come forward to find out a little bit more about what climate awareness, what climate action means. And so having reached out and worked with Hindu Climate Action, which is another group who's been doing great work in Leicester, in going out into the grassroots communities, talking about climate action in a more relatable way, and getting people really interested in that conversation. We felt they would be really good partners to take this message forward in terms of raising awareness. So the main sort of project idea is to train a number of Hindu community connectors to deliver a number of workshops through the city, and it's a pilot project, and to identify sort of faith groups who may be a good platform to do the workshops with. And it would be a pilot project so that we can gain learning from it to see if our approach is the right approach, to getting people on board, because I think one of the biggest challenges that we might have is convincing people that it's important, because we tend to find climate action, climate awareness goes in and out of news a lot, and we want to sort of make it a permanent conversation. So working with faith organisations in the city to convince them that climate action, climate awareness is not going anywhere, and to be part of that conversation through this project is really important to us. So that's what we intend to do. The Gujarati is the main language spoken by the Hindu community, but as well as that, the majority of the Muslim community speak Gujarati as well. So we are going to be delivering this project bilingual, using that as a main focus in terms
Runa,
of...
you've got 1 more minute. Sorry, you've got 1 more minute.
So we're going to be using that as a main focus. So yeah, that's in a nutshell in terms of what the project is. I don't know if Sam wants to sort of interject with the rest of the slides and go from there.
No, I think that pretty much covers it, Taruna. I think we're at the early stages of this project, so it's going to be really exciting to kind of feed back on how this goes, and to just see then how we can take it even further into the wider communities of Leicester and across some of the other language groups and groups that have been quite excluded from the climate conversation. But thank you so much for letting us come and speak to you.